there, and thank God I'm safe. And I promptly fall asleep. And then I'm awoken with my alarm clock and this beam of sunlight coming in my window, and it's a new day. Now, when you teach the primary grades, the day goes by in a heartbeat. And so it's 3:30 again, and I dash from the school over to the house. Okay, I put on extra warm clothes this time. My mucklucks, my Hudson Bay parka, and my wool hat, my deerskin mitts. I hop on the skidoo, I turn it on, and I hook up the sled, and I bump down to the ice. And there are 6 children happily waiting for me to take them home. It's only 5 miles across the frozen waters of the English River system. 10 miles round trip. Piece of cake. I hope that was okay.
That was great. That was great. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Our Story, Stories That Unite Us. And I'd invite you all to join me next time as we welcome our next 3 storytellers. Until then, what's your story?
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
October 5th, 2014, my daughter was hit by a train. She was walking along the sides of the tracks, and it shattered her world.
We've had such trying days the last few months. Henry's health has taken a turn. Our savings are dwindling. But your prayers, they've been our lifeline. You've given us hope when we had none left.
This is Rogers TV.
That was a good start.
That was great.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 3rd annual Collingwood Downtown Pride Parade. We are so excited to be here. I am Monica Schneer.
I am your hype guy, Tyler Boyle, and this time we're showing up as host for the 2nd year in a row.
Yes, and it's much different this year. It's a lot warmer.
Yes.
And last year it was raining. I had a bad hair day.
We both had a really bad hair day, but now we get to sweat through our hair, and I'm sure your hair will turn out much the same.
Yes, exactly. And really, the energy here is electric. We have people lined up the street. Everyone is so excited to be here, and so are we. Every year it just gets bigger and better, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's so great. This year what they've done is they've made everything really, really central. So it's a one-stop shop in the market square to be able to show up and see and do everything that you want to do here. here, and there is a long list. Throughout the day today, we're going to be touching base on all of those different things. We also want to say hi to everybody that's checking us out from many different locations because we've expanded our reach for people watching here at Rogers. Also, if you need to text somebody and let them know to watch as well, they can watch on YouTube streaming live.
Yeah, it really is wonderful. Last night I was on the Sappho cruise. We had incredible performers. I enjoyed it a little too much, but we had Gender Slay Quoi.
Yes.
We also had incredible drag performers, and really it was such a great way to start off the festival.
Yes, and I know at the end of that, I saw it on our social media.
Yeah.
By the way, check out our social media for everything that's going on.
Yeah.
I saw on social media that nearing the end of the cruise, a rainbow showed up.
Yes, it was so incredible. Like, how apropos. We had a full rainbow, and everyone was so excited, and really, it was just a great way to start off Collingwood Pride.
Yeah, and the thing is about this weekend is it's a whole weekend of fun. There's so much going on, and thank you to all of our local businesses and our local friends and family who have been supporting this event because, as Monica said, it just keeps getting bigger, badder, and better.
Yes. Speaking of locals, Lowdown, a favorite restaurant here hosted a 90s electric circus last night, which was incredible. Everyone was dancing, and really the whole community is just really geared up for this event.
What is it about 90s music? I mean,
I know, and 80s. I'm a little older, I think. But 90s and 80s, I know, everyone gets up and dances.
Yeah.
But the younger generations think that it's their music somehow.
Right, that's right.
But
well,
it's just reinvented on
thanks,
TikTok.
Thanks to TikTok, they all have a dance to go along with it now. They're like, oh my gosh, you're doing the TikTok dance. It's like, no, this goes way back further than that.
Yeah, my son on Fortnite, he's like, this song is great.
Yeah.
Yes. I know it very well from the 80s.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. We want to thank everybody for joining us once again. If you haven't made your way down, there's still time to make it downtown Collingwood to check out everything that's going on. Our parade is started here very, very shortly, but we have some important people to meet first.
We do. We have some very important people to meet. You want to come over? Michelle Kemper. She is the chair of the Rainbow Club. Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
Happy Pride. Happy Pride. Do we know each other?
Have we
You
met?
look so familiar.
I feel like we might be neighbors.
We're next door neighbors.
We're next door neighbors.
Hi.
Hi. Welcome, everyone.
Michelle, why don't you tell us a little bit about your role and also what this means to you?
Well, so I'm the chair of the Rainbow Club of South Georgian Bay. We're a nonprofit that is made up of all local volunteers, and we reach across the Southern Georgian Bay region. We are the host of Collingwood Pride. And this is our 4th annual year doing this. It means so much to us to have the whole community here. It's really a very local event. You will see all kinds of our local businesses, our local sponsors doing things all up and down our main street. We have got so many supporters. The town supports us. We've got municipal officials that have been super helpful, and we have support from the province. TD Bank has always been helping us. Locations North, one of our realtors here, is a major sponsor, and we have so many sponsors that are all local businesses that make sure that we live in a town where love is love. Yes. Where love wins, and where you can be safe walking down the street, celebrating who you are and who you love.
And why do you feel this type of event is so important?
Well, Pride is still really an important thing. It started as a riot back in '69 in New York, and it was led by many of our trans brothers and sisters and drag performers who were being persecuted for being who they were. And since then, it has continued to build. And so there's always an educational aspect to what we do, and we're always trying to, make sure that we're talking to people about hearts and minds and changing people's ideas about who we are, and increasing understanding. And it's also really important because, there's so many places all over the world where there's still dehumanization and hate against our community. And literally because we're just trying to, again, be who we are, whatever that looks like, and love who we love, whoever that is. So for me, it's things like we had a local youth in this community whose family rejected them, and shortly thereafter they committed suicide. And And suicide rates amongst our queer youth is actually much higher than the general population. And so we need to continue to create spaces like this where, you can walk down this main street and see people from every walk of life that are just here trying to live their lives safely, live fully in their skin, be safe and free. And we're just trying to create that environment and a place where you can celebrate being who you are.
Yeah, I love that. Amen. Yay, Collingwood.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And, let me tell you just one personal story. The first year we had a live parade, we were on the very last float. And as we got towards the end, we didn't know what to expect, how many people would be here. And there was people from every walk of life, every part of our community. And as we turned around towards the end of the parade and looked back, we didn't realize, but several thousand people had gathered, and they were all cheering and waving their flags, and everyone on the float just burst out into tears, like, oh, this is a place where we can be accepted as who we are, and it was an incredible feeling for us.
Yeah. That is incredible.
Yeah, it's so funny. I always tell people that somebody being themselves, somebody choosing to show up as them, be them, does not affect the rights or equality of somebody else. And so often that's the thing, is when some people see a pride parade, for instance, they get all up in their head and worried that it means that there's something being taken away from them. But all that's happening here is a celebration of equity, diversity, inclusion, and resilience.
That's exactly right. Yeah, and we're just trying to celebrate this beautiful community and celebrate all the people that live here and love here, and wanting people to be able to be free and be themselves.
Yeah. And what's better than literally sunshine and rainbows?
Nothing.
Literally. This weekend has just been fantastic. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Weekend.
Yes.
Michelle, could you tell us a little bit about what you're looking forward to over the next 24 hours?
Well, as you were mentioning, the Sapphos at Sea cruise was just absolutely so much fun. But this evening at the festival grounds, we're going to kick things off starting at 6 o'clock. There's going to be a vibology dance group that is just, they are unbelievable. And then we have a whole set of performances, both locals, and we've got Priyanka, who was a drag queen who was the winner of RuPaul's Drag Race, and who's now on HBO's show We're Here, and who is an incredible performer. So they are our headliners. So we hope that you come down to our festival grounds, which is on Simcoe Street, in between St. Paul and St. Marie. And we really hope that you come and celebrate and have a good time.
Excellent.
Yes,
Excellent.
and as I was saying earlier, if you're just joining us now, there is an amazing opportunity to show up for a one-stop shop.
Yes.
A lot of the events and things going on are in the market square, and so you can show up there and you can see everything there is to do. There is so much exciting stuff going on at the main stage today. The fun doesn't stop literally from now, well, even before now, Friday, well before now, all the way until 11 o'clock tonight.
Yes, and also family friendly. There is a family zone.
The family zone is incredibly popular here on Ontario Street, where we had stilt walkers and we had hula hoop classes for the kids and tie-dye for the kids, and just a place for families to come and celebrate and have fun.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for everything you do, and I'll see you later, because we're neighbors. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Happy Pride.
Thank you, Michelle.
All right.
Well, if you're curious and been asking yourself, what does it take to put on Collingwood Pride? We've got a little snippet for you to check it out.
So this is a little bit different today. This is actually before the parade, and we're going to tell you everything that it takes to put on Collingwood Pride. It takes an entire town. We have an abundance of volunteers that help us through all of our different areas of activation. We have amazing sponsors from all of our local businesses that just support this festival so that it continues to grow each year. We have a family-friendly zone that, you know, really introduces the kids at a young age to what Pride is. We have our main stage festival grounds that has a lot of A-list entertainment. We're really excited to have Queen Priyanka here this year. And then what is Pride without a giant parade? You're going to see shortly over 40 floats of local businesses, local organizations, all here to show their support for Pride. Collingwood truly shows up in the loudest way possible to show that we are loud and we are proud.
It is an amazing opportunity for our community to gather together and to really support the community that is our Rainbow Club, the people involved in the Pride Festival. We are a small town, but we're a very inclusive community, and it's sometimes surprising to people that move here from the big city and expect us to be a little more closed in, but you'll find that the community members, our business members, are so welcoming and just love to have the festival happen right in our downtown.
Without the support of the community, we would not be able to scale Pride each year. You know, from our first year where it was virtual to where we are now, we have businesses reaching out to us throughout the entire year now to get involved and show their support for this community. Pride is obviously our big staple. It's our biggest event of the year, but this town truly supports the queer community throughout the whole calendar. We have different educational elements throughout the year. We do lots of mixers. Collingwood truly is a proud town.
Right from the very start, there has been absolutely no negativity. It really has been embraced by our community, both our residents who have been here for many, many years, and the visitors, and of course our new residents. We're becoming a much more diverse community. As new people move here, they love to be here. They want to be here. They wanted their children to grow up here, and so they embrace that diversity that the Pride Festival and the Rainbow Club really bring to our community.
All right, now it's time to go back to Tyler and Monica so that you can enjoy the rest of the parade, the rest of the festival, and celebrate Pride with us in Collingwood.
Welcome everybody and welcome back. Now, as I said earlier, if you're just joining us, there's still time to get downtown. We just checked out down the street there and I don't see the floats yet. So if you're within the neighborhood, it's time to come down for, as I said before, some sunshine and rainbows.
Thank goodness we have sunshine, and last night on the cruise we had a real live rainbow. It really was perfect, and now the streets are filling up. But if you're in Collingwood, come on down. I can hear the sirens. They are starting.
Yeah.
So come on down, enjoy this Pride parade. My mom is 90. She's here with my son who's 11, so it's for everyone to enjoy.
Absolutely. You know what's funny is before we started, it turned into a family reunion. Somebody introduced themselves to me and said, I think you're my second cousin.
Oh,
so
okay.
Surprise. It turned into a family reunion. It's like 23andMe here right now. It's amazing. Yeah, there's if you don't like the sun, if the sun is a little bit too much for you because it's hot today as we're in our two-piece suits, we have a side of the street that is completely covered in shade. That one's for you. If you are a sun dog, come over to this side of the street and roast with us.
Roast with us. We have some incredible floats, incredible organizations in the parade. I'm so excited to introduce you to everyone, the Girl Guides, local businesses, and everyone is coming out to support the community, which I really love.
Yes, it really does take a village, not only from town support, but also for everybody who's joined us in the parade. It's also all the local businesses who have decorated the front of their stores.
Yes.
It is a beautiful thing to see a community come together, and it happens for things like parades and festivals. This is just another one to come and enjoy. This one's just a little bit more comfortable, or colorful,
Colorful.
maybe even comfortable for some, actually.
Exactly.
We just had that conversation.
And I really do love the children coming out because teaching them at a young age about acceptance, inclusiveness. I really love that there was a family zone where children can learn to understand differences and be accepting.
Yeah, and if you haven't checked out our family zone, there's an amazing family zone that is packed full of stuff. It is so wonderful to check out with your little ones. Plus, if you're able to join us a little later, we've got drag shows coming up. We've got DJs coming up. We've got, if you were at the variety show, you've already been wowed by that. And some of those performers will be showing back up again to wow and razzle dazzle.
Yeah, razzle dazzle in this parade.
That's
Absolutely.
right, that too.
And on the main stage, right? Absolutely. We have Priyanka, who won Drag Race.
Yeah, Canada's Drag Race.
And I was actually a judge on that.
I did see you on there, actually.
It was one of my greatest joys to be on that show. But I see the parade coming.
We better get to the tent.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, see you in there.
See you in there.
Welcome everybody to the Collingwood Pride Parade. It has got started. We are crack-a-lackin'. You can see, oh hi, here we are. you can hear those sirens. There's certainly, that's the way to kick off the parade, is with a little bit of noise, let everybody know you're coming.
And take our ears out. So that's fine. That's fine. Here they come.
Yeah, the parade is finally here. You can see how deep the crowd is. We have got a ton of people out supporting us today. And to start us off, we have got the Collingwood Police via the motorcycles coming up here shortly. But we've got the Collingwood Police leading the way. The Collingwood Police Department is part of the OPP. It's dedicated to ensuring community safety and well-being. Their services include emergency response, crime prevention, and community outreach, all aimed at fostering a safe and inclusive environment for visitors and for residents. That is one way
something.
to...
Yeah, that is something.
That's your way to announce that you're coming. I need one of those when I walk into a room, let me tell you.
Wow.
Follow along the numbers across here. Girl guides in here. Cancel.
And with the Collingwood Police Department, we have the Collingwood Fire Department. They are here to serve the community by providing protection from fire, life-threatening emergencies, and dangerous conditions. and they might be bursting our eardrums, but that is okay. We really appreciate everything they do through education, prevention, rescue, suppression, and basic life support services. Thank you to the Collingwood Fire Department.
Followed up right by the town of Collingwood as well.
Yes, which is led by our mayor and our councillors, who are elected by the residents of the town. Functions include maintaining public infrastructure such as roads, parks, and utilities, managing land use planning and development, providing local services like garbage collection and water services, and promoting the overall well-being of the community.
Yeah, and there's my jam. They've got my jam playing. Welcome to the Collingwood General Marine Hospital. Collingwood General and Marine Hospital provides comprehensive medical services, including emergency care, surgery, and diagnostic imaging. With a dedicated healthcare team, the hospital focuses on high-quality, compassionate care and preventative health, aiming to enhance the well-being of all residents and visitors. I'm already dancing in my seat.
Yeah, that is a good jam. I love how everyone's dancing.
There's just certain songs you can't help but dance to, you know. I think that's one of them.
Cher is one of yours?
Yeah. Yeah. Generally, yes, actually. That song specifically.
Yesterday, the captain of our ship was the only male, and we got him out on the dance floor. I'm not sure who was driving the boat, but...
It's on autopilot.
Yeah.
There's the Collingwood.
Yes.
GM Hospital. Thank you for everybody who came out to support, everybody who had the day off, and everybody who is still there supporting our community 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365.
And right behind the Collingwood General Hospital, we have Barbadian Canadian drag performer and runner-up of Season 3 Canada's Drag Race. At the young age, she began performing in professional theater and kept matriculating her talents at a national level with Barbados' leading dance troupe. Upon immigrating to Canada, she delved deep into the drag scene, and that is Jada Shada Hudson.
Yes, and that is followed by Blue Mountain Chrysler featuring Jada. The vehicle dealership located in Collingwood, Blue Mountain Chrysler has proudly been serving the Collingwood and Blue Mountains area since 1974.
Woo! And then right behind her we have the Dykes on Bikes with drag queens Christopher Cummings and Katina.
Katinka,
I'm so sorry. I need better glasses. A group of local motorcyclists featuring drag queen Katinka Couture and drag king Christopher Cummings.
Yes, indeed. Now, coming up here shortly, I'm not going to tell you who's coming, but they are a crowd favorite, and they will be performing a little bit later. They've already performed earlier in the day today, if I'm not mistaken. But a little bit later, we will see very famous Vibology, and they will be leading a super fun, country-themed dance party that you're not going to want to miss. And you will see that coming up here. They've got an entire country theme to what they're doing there.
That sounds amazing.
Vibology Dance Group is a local community of dancers. It's set to ignite the main stage of Pride Collingwood, creating an electrifying ambiance and vibrant energy.
Woo! Yes. We're just gonna wait for them a little bit, but I can feel them coming down the pipeline.
Oh yeah, they like to take their time. That is how you enter a room, let me tell you.
You need to make an entrance.
No, this is so fascinating. Vibology is dancing with the Rainbow Club as a country-inspired dance, and their fanography last year was a huge hit. They're back galloping down the road this year. The country theme, I don't know if you even know this, I did not know this. The country theme was inspired by Beyonce's Texas Hold'em, which, believe it or not, is, we believe or not, that is about our local dive bar moguls, it says here, because Nathan Ferraro, who was born and raised in Collingwood, is a co-writer and co-producer of this song, of Texas Hold'em, which went crazy viral on TikTok.
Yes, who knew?
Who knew? I did not know that.
That's incredible.
So if you've ever been there, you've seen the Lexuses out in front, and the patrons really like to take it to the dance floor, and Vibology is here doing that for us right now, country style, with a little nod to local celeb Nathan Ferraro, who had his involvement in Beyonce's Texas Hold'em.
That's incredible. We have some local talent here, don't we?
Every day.
Yeah, all day long.
I can't believe they've never asked me to be a part of this. I mean, I could shake my tail feather like the best of them.
Well, like last night, it's just for the girls.
That's right, that's right.
But if you identify as a girl.
That's correct.
You may.
Yes.
Here we go. All right. Now we have the Collingwood Rotary Club. Oh, sorry, the Rainbow Club of Georgian Bay. The Rotary, you're right. Rotary Club is dedicated to causes that build international relationships, improve lives, and create a better world to support peace efforts and end polio forever. The Rotary Clubs of Collingwood, Southern Georgian Bay, and Wasaga. Thank you for all you do.
Look at these wheels coming up. The license plate says "Win Me." I don't know cars, but if I did,
Wait, do you want to win that one? Yes.
I'd handle winning that for sure. I would look great in that car. So for whoever's listening, running that contest,
yes.
Let me know. I'm a very eligible person to win that. I would make the best of it. Next up, we are looking at Simcoe County School Board.
Ooh.
English-speaking public school board serving Simcoe County. The schools and learning centers are branched through 4,800 square kilometers in Simcoe County, and they're here to represent their teachers, their students, their staff, their admin. Taped to the side of the bus here is all the unions that are represented here. So great to see them out supporting their students, letting them know that they can show up to school as whoever they are, heart first.
They really do a wonderful job. We really thank all of our teachers here in the community.
Amen.
And right behind the Simcoe County School Board, we have Pretty River Academy, a really wonderful private school. Pretty River Academy is a kindergarten to grade 8 independent school in Collingwood, and it has a rich 25-year history. They are dedicated to providing an exceptional educational experience that meets the unique needs of each student within a supportive environment. We want our students, they want their students to be excited about learning and find their voice and master the skills that they need in an ever-changing world.
Next up is Wasaga Community Theater. In the winter of 1991, members of the Blue Mountain Foundations of the Arts formed a theater group of Wasaga Beach. The elected boards of directors, past and present, with the generous help of the town of Wasaga Beach and many others, brought their first production, Exit the Body, to the stage. Since that time, the group has gone on to produce 2 plays per year in the spring and fall, including children's productions. Most recently, The Wizard of Oz.
Ah, lovely.
Up next is the Midwives of Nottawasaga. Midwives are experts in normal childbirth and providing high-quality, evidence-based care throughout pregnancy, labor, and the first 6 weeks postpartum, serving Collingwood, Wasaga Beach, Nottawa, and other communities. So many of my friends have used their services, and the amazing thing is it can be blended with what some would call more traditional medicine. So you can have your midwife along with you to help you through the process before, during, and after birth. It's incredible.
And right behind them, the midwives are rocking out, but Brad's Place Addiction Treatments of Southern Georgian Bay is a very important treatment center for Southern Georgian Bay, which offers comprehensive support for those struggling with addiction, including detoxification, counseling, rehabilitation. With a very compassionate team, the center provides personalized care to help individuals achieve long-term recovery and a healthier, addiction-free life. Amen.
That's right. And following that, we have the Busby Center. Busby Center is a community of non-for-profit organization working from a non-judgmental approach to advocate for and improve the conditions for individuals and families of South Georgian Bay and the county of Simcoe. A part of that also is the Elizabeth Fry Society of Simcoe, Muskoka.
Okay. Oh, here we have a competitor of mine because I'm with another company. But Royal LePage Locations North is a sponsor, and we really appreciate them. Royal LePage Locations North, with market-leading team of realtors, is dedicated to serving the Collingwood and Southern Georgian Bay real estate markets.
You know, sometimes they refer to gay speed when walking. We've got gay speed right now, walking, moving this parade down the road, because I might have forgot to mention Collingwood's Women's Health Clinic was also represented there.
Very important as well.
Next up, we've got the Collingwood Girl Guides. The Collingwood Girl Guides chapter empowers girls through education, outdoor activities, and community service. I wish that they were throwing us Girl Guide cookies right now.
Yeah, me too. I love those chocolate mint ones.
Oh, I know. Those are the ones.
Those are the ones. And you have to freeze them. They taste even better.
Really?
Yes, so good. Hey, Quincy.
Vortex is not playing. Vortex Wellness Studio in Collingwood offers holistic services like massage therapy, acupuncture, yoga, and meditation to promote overall well-being. But here, they're singing their hearts out. Make it sunshiny and rainbows with his voice today.
Okay, Pet Value is a place that I frequent. It's a retail chain carrying food, supplies, and toys, and many, many other products for pets such as dogs, cats, and reptiles. I go there at least once a month.
That's where I look after my tortoise. I don't have cats or dogs, I have a tortoise.
Oh my goodness. I have cats, dogs, fish, and a hamster.
And a son.
Yes, and that too. And some ponies. They brought their ponies.
I mean, if I had a pony, I would have brought it too.
Right? You should have brought your tortoise.
I should have, actually. She would love this. The next up is the Ryu Baker Real Estate Team. Formed in 2006, the Ryu Baker team is an experienced leader in local real estate in the Southern Georgian Bay area.
And right behind the Baker Ryu team, we have Lighthouse Group, offering professional cleaning services. Ben and Hillary Mitchell are the owners of the Lighthouse Group. They live in Collingwood with their family and are proud to be a part of this community and to serve Collingwood and surrounding communities.
Remember being a kid in school and you would be asked to read something and then all your words and all your ability to read just goes away? That's today with us, trying to keep up with this amazing
because they're
parade.
running by us and it's very loud.
It's so exciting because the energy is so high. Everything is moving quickly. Everything is loud and proud, bright and sunshiny. We've got Base Borden up next, a network of Canadian forces based out of Borden to share information regarding everything US LGBTQ+. Thank you to all of our military, of course, and thank you to our first responders for everything that they do, taking time out of their day to be here.
And we also have MPP Brian Saunderson. In 2018, Saunderson was elected mayor of Collingwood. Thank you, Brian, for everything that you do.
And paired up with MP Terry Dowdle as well on there. Grace United Church has shown up in bright colors. So great to see a church represented out here. Grace United Church strives to offer safe and inclusive spaces, generous spaces for those who are seeking a faith community.
And right behind them we have the Georgian Triangle Hikers. The Collingwood
technical difficulty on that one. Yes, we've got the Georgian Triangle
Hikers. They are not the Girl Guides.
Not the Girl Guides. Next up is Vanessa Smalls. Vanessa drives a convertible and is transporting a kiddo who is riding in the car as well with her, all done up like a cloud in a rainbow.
Beautiful. And Scotiabank, financial institution offering a wide range of banking services on Huron Street in Collingwood. And then Landmark Bus Lines in Collingwood provide safe and reliable transportation services primarily for school districts, emphasizing safety, punctuality, and customer satisfaction.
Hey yo. Ooh, a beautiful breeze just picked up here downtown Collingwood, and it feels good because it's hot today. It's hot.
It is hot, hot, hot. Do you mind if I take this one?
By all means.
Because 11 Hair Collective is my go-to for my hair. Thank you. 11 Hair Collective offers a variety of modern hair services with skilled stylists focusing on personalized consultations and customer satisfaction in a contemporary salon environment.
Hey yo. Now, we are not allowed to complain about being hot anymore because we've got the Barrie Stormtroopers here, a member of the 501st Legion and Pride Squadron. We are Star Wars customers with movie-accurate costumes, and they are not playing around. That is a little easy bake oven, I do believe.
They are going to be hot, hotter than us in our tuxes. And Max 97.7 is a revolution in local community-focused radio for Wasaga Beach, Collingwood, Clearview, and the Southern Georgian Bay region.
Catherine's Chateau, Champagne Cafe Bistro, Home Decor Gifts Boutique.
And we have Sunshine City Pet Care. Sunshine Pet Care in Collingwood offers professional pet sitting, dog walking, and personalized care services to enhance the well-being of pets. Known for reliability, compassion, they provide peace of mind to pet owners in our community.
And followed that, we have the Circus Company from Barrie and Collingwood, established in 2012. The circus where I belong. My people. You know, they say that you can run away and join the circus. You don't even have to go that far. We've got a circus here.
Just come to Collingwood, right?
Next up, looking shiny and bright, we've got Blue Mountain Resort. Located in the Blue Mountains between the shores of Georgian Bay and the slopes of the Niagara Escarpment. Blue Mountain Resort, you can catch me there regularly dancing in my other life when I'm not doing this here with you, my friend. I am out dancing with the Toronto Blue Jays and at Blue Mountain, hey, and at Blue Mountain, you can catch me in the middle of the square dancing my little heart out. You should come join me.
And you do an amazing job at I love watching you. Okay. Thank you so much for everyone who is watching at home. Thank you everyone who came out to support our community here in person. Thank you, thank you. Enjoy this parade and enjoy the festivities, and we'll see you next year.
There's so much more going on. Come and join us downtown Collingwood.
Wow.
And that segment could be parents with children, and on their task list is book a babysitter, figure out when they're going to get home, and transportation is still very similar, but it could be different. So thank you for sharing, because we're all doing our work today, so it's all of us. Okay, so you can open your paper up now, okay? We're going to do the other side, and they relate to each other, so you're going to want to make some room so you can see them at the same time. I'm going to hand it over to Linda, I believe.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about products and services.
Yeah, here we go. So this is, now we're the artist. So before we were talking about our customer's perspective. So now we kind of want to match up the products and services that this customer wants. So Lucy Bay, the art lover and buyer, we know that she likes, do I go to the next slide?
Just this one here.
There we go. So what product or service do they need that you offer? So Lucy wants paintings of Georgian Bay, right? She wants paintings of real locations in Georgian Bay that inspire her memories. And she wants landscapes with human elements. And that's a product that this artist, let's say that I'm the artist, that's what I offer. And that's what we put on the product list.
So you're all going to have very different products, but you know them really well. So we're going to give you just a couple minutes to fill out your product piece. Okay, and if you're struggling with the product, then again, raise your hand and we'll come on over.
Okay, so I want to be one more, right?
No, okay, yeah. So next you're working on your pains and your gains, or your gain creators and your pain relievers. So you have a product and you're offering it, and there's more that you probably do along that path to serve those customers.
Yeah, and so this time these are the gain and pains of that you want to match your services and your products to this particular client.
So what might happen now as you go through this is you might start realizing new things that you haven't thought about, or really bring to light services and things that you do that are above and beyond your actual products and services. So if we continue through, so you'll have your gain creators and your pain relievers, the sheets in front of you again with those trigger questions, so you can start being inspired to think about, hey, how am I relieving the pain of hard to find parking at my event? Okay. Maybe you're not doing anything and don't worry about it. Move to the next one. How am I relieving the pain of it's too expensive? Oh, maybe I offer payment plans. I've always worked with my customers to do something. Or maybe it's a subscription model we're going to move to for our membership. They don't pay once a year anymore. They pay once a month. So you can start matching how you're relieving those pains. And there's maybe things you've been doing for forever that you've never really communicated that you do. It just happens. And now we're trying to pull those out and see some of those things that you do. And this is also when new ideas are going to come, because you're going to have seen something that a customer is maybe frustrated with, and you're going to go, oh, I could have helped them with that. And then you can write down that new idea for future. But there is some examples to go through for Lucy.
Yeah, and so some of these pain relievers and the gains you may already provide, and some of them you're going to come up with today, I hope.
For the artist, oh, the clicky again, he's
right?
Doing what I do.
Just looks like, okay, now it's not. There we go. Okay, so here's an example. So you can offer prints of different sizes, but on request. You can name each piece and attach a background story to your art. I think a lot of artists, we already kind of have a story. We're kind of storytellers in our work anyway. But maybe learning to share it better will help you, connect with your Lucy. You can hold meet and greets with your clients. And then we've got some different colored stickies up there. So the new idea here was have your clients name the paintings with you. So if they're going to purchase it, or if could run a contest, or just something that connects the artist directly with that painting.
Okay, that resonated with Lucy Bay, one of those things, because she wanted to be able to tell a story and connect. That might be for your client.
Yeah. And then for the panes, you can provide the shipping at no cost. You can provide installation for large pieces. You can install smaller pieces, I suppose, if you want to. It's an option. Embellished prints. Does anyone know what an embellished print is? So it's basically, yeah, most of us probably do. It's basically a painting with, or a print with added paint to it, or shiny things. And then you can ensure that, so that you don't diminish the value of your original, that you promise to do limited edition prints or limited numbers of prints. So people will still feel very special with their original piece. So those are just some of the ideas. So next we're going to go to, you guys get to write down your own pain, gain creators and pain relievers.
If we can bring your attention back up here.
Yeah, you guys have done a lot today. I've never seen so many of those little sticky pads. It's a nice, bright, colorful room today. Okay, so does anyone want to share their work? You want to share your pains and gains and your products?
Tell us about we got one right here.
All right. Who do we have? There you are.
Thank you. My name is Laura LaChapelle. I'm program director for a nonprofit organization called Making Change, and we provide cultural engagement for our Black community and for the community at large to learn more about Black culture. So the customer I picked is somebody that works for a business and looking for anti-Black racism presentation. So I had a whole list of jobs and all that. So the task is they're trying to find the correct presentation for their staff. And so some of the issues that they have were ensuring that it's the right presentation that meets their needs, tech issues, poor attendance, fear that it's not engaging for their staff, and unsure if it will actually have any effect. So some of the positive ones have been just making a connection with the presenter, that it makes an impact, that it actually sparks organizational change, and also that maybe the business is seen as a model for other businesses to do the same. A new relationship is developed. So in this other section here, we were then looking at making sure that we provide the presentation in different options. So which we already do. We have online or in person, and making sure that they know that we have very light presentations, but we also have in-depth workshops, and providing anti-racism presentations of different varieties. So then, what was that other section?
Pain relievers and gain creators.
Yeah. Okay, so pain. We want to make sure that we could offer customization for their presentations. Keeping presenters, like our presenters, updated on their own training, making sure that they are keeping fresh, and making sure that our content is relevant. So every year, going back to our presentations, what do we need to update? What do we need to provide? Do we need to start a new presentation? Provide a pre-survey of learning expectations, and that's something that's new for me. We do have a scope call with a client that's looking for a presentation, but I've always just openly, an open discussion. But if I actually have a list of questions that are very specific to make sure I'm covering all the things that maybe they haven't even thought of.
Is that new today?
That's new today, yeah.
Yay.
We always do the post-survey, but the idea of making sure, how do I know that they know what they're looking for the right presentation? So obviously making sure that our presenters are using the correct tech and they're 100% secure about the tech that they're using. We do that. Provide contract to ensure that we're all on the same page as to the date and time. And I think, create an engaging bio and description to inspire the staff to maximize attendance. We have a nice little blurb of what the presentations are, but can we kind of make it a little bit more dynamic to really grab, and that was new. That was new for me today.
That's great.
So of the gain section, provide a post-survey for the staff, which we do that already. Provide follow-up resources. We offer it, but maybe it just should be an automatic, because we want people and organizations and businesses to want to continue their journey on learning about anti-racism issues. Provide a list of future presentations for consideration. So just really addressing that follow-up, because we want people to continue that journey. And so touch base at a different time period, and then provide an achievement certificate, because that could be a way that other businesses and organizations see what they've done. Oh, what's this about? I see your little award.
Nice. Excellent.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
great. That's good. We get some new ideas.
So what we're going to talk about next is the whole reason we did this. So you have a clear understanding of the pains, the gains, the things you can do that are over and above, that are different. And really, we want you to be able to come up with a value proposition. This is just a draft. We don't have a lot of time left today to dig into this and work on it. But what you can take is your board and the themes that have come out of that board. So for Lucy Bay, oh, come on. Okay, so here's the themes. She offers the products on the left. The themes of the things she can do are in the middle. Those are her actual sticky notes. So you can really see the pain relievers and the delightful things that that she can offer. And then we've kind of worked together with the themes that have come out. So Georgian Bay, clear from the very beginning. Stories, feeling connected, feeling inspired, joining the artist and connecting with the artist, human in nature, painless installation. You know, there's some tactical things that come out too. So these were some ideas. And from there, we drafted a potential value proposition that may work for this artist in differentiating from others. So we wrote, connect with Georgian Bay's beauty through original paintings, blending landscapes and humanity, each accompanied by personalized stories to evoke fond memories of the Bay. And then we had that new idea, collaborate to name your new painting as it finds its true home, and on the side, shipping and large print installation included. Okay, does this feel like it, for an artist, it might be slightly differentiating, allowing for that kind of story, memory creation of someone who's connected with Georgian Bay, as opposed to saying, I'm a Georgian Bay artist, and like that's the end of it, right? This is finding it connected to that one artist. Now, this is not gonna serve every single one of their customers. So as you move forward, you might draft a value proposition based on the themes you came up with today on your board. Take those sticky notes off, put them somewhere else, see them, write the words that resonate and create with them. And then you're gonna get kind of a value prop for that customer segment. Then you're gonna go home and you're gonna think of a different customer segment. You can do this exercise over and over again. That's why we use sticky notes. I encourage you to take the pieces of paper home. Again, this is all free resources. You can look up Strategizer and Value Proposition Canvas, and you're gonna find all of the trigger questions, everything online, and you're gonna do it again. And if you have 3 leading customer segments. These are the 3 types of groups of people that buy the most from me or come and fill the seats in the theater the most. Do those 3, work on a value proposition to them, and then combine them. Look at the themes that are connecting those 3 different clients or customers. So they all really like VIP treatment. Every single one of them wants something a little bit more to make them feel, okay, well, we better improve our VIP and really push that as one of the true benefits we offer in our local theater company. That might be something that resonates with all 3. So you're gonna find the connections between them and then hone in on really trying to differentiate and create your value proposition. How'd we do today? Good? You got something out of it? I hope so. How'd we do for time? Any last words, Linda?
No, I think you've kind of summed up what I would have said anyway.
Thank you so much, Nicole and Linda. Let's put our hands together for them.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
Hello, I'm Liz Dowdswell, Lieutenant Governor of Ontario. In 2008, carbon monoxide, a deadly invisible gas, killed an entire family in our province. That tragedy led to a new law requiring homes with potential CO sources to have alarms. John Gignac's family members passed away that day, and he shares his story to save others.
Please make sure you have working CO alarms in your home. Protect your family today.
You're watching Rogers TV.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Hello, and welcome to Her Story, the show to encourage more women to explore the possibilities of using their skills and talents by participating in leadership roles within our community. I'm Tiffany James, and I have the pleasure of hosting this program. Her Story is here to encourage women in our community to actively engage and use their voice to bring attention to issues they are passionate about, with the hope that we will all get more involved. Please welcome my guest, Emily Bath, owner and operator of Built Strength and Conditioning in Owen Sound. Emily is a certified exercise physiologist and a clinical exercise specializing in high performance and a registered kinesiologist. Her enthusiasm and keen interest in sports developed at a young age, with soccer, volleyball, and bodybuilding are just a few of the sports that kept her active. Her love for fitness has developed into a passion for CrossFit and group CrossFit competitions. Welcome, Emily, and thank you for joining me today.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Did I get all of that?
Yeah, I think so.
Perfect. That's crazy. You are way more active than I am. I wish I could. I wish I could do that. What made you?
I know a great spot. You can come join anytime you want.
Doing my research, I'm like, oh my gosh, I know you would push me, and that's what I need. So I think I do need to come visit you. Can you tell me a bit about your background and what made you become so interested in sports and in just physical activity?
Yeah, so I mean, I've been active my whole life. I have played sports my whole life, like you just kind of said in my little bio. At a younger age, I guess in high school, I realized that I probably wasn't going to be a professional soccer player. So I think like most people who are just like passionate about sports and stuff, we kind of want to go the physiotherapist route for school when I was trying to decide what to do. So then I sort of decided that I wasn't going to be the professional athlete, that I kind of wanted to train them. But I had a bit of a misconception that physiotherapy was kind of the only way to go in and train people, but I was incorrect. Physiotherapist is more taking the injured body or the unable body or incorrect movement patterns and then sending them back into their sport. And then there's a different trainer there, right? So roundabout way, I ended up kind of pursuing more of a exercise physiology background instead. And that's kind of where that all sort of unfolded.
So can you tell me a little bit about like kinesiology and because you're a registered kinesiologist and how that fits into the role of?
Yeah. So when I was, like I said, when I was trying to decide what to do when I was going to school to go into physiotherapy, you can't just go and take a physiotherapist program. So most of us would do a kinesiology degree. So I went to Western University and I did my 4-year undergrad there. And I still kind of had my sights set on doing physiotherapy, but when I was done my university degree, we kind of, do you go right away? Do you try to figure out what else you want to do? I wasn't entirely sure that physiotherapy was the route. So I decided to when I was done, write my kinesiologist certification or my exam to become a registered and licensed kinesiologist. Again, while I was trying to kind of figure things out. So I came home, I volunteered at a physiotherapist clinic, tried to see if that's still sort of what I wanted to pursue and do. And at the time, actually, I started training at the YMCA. My aunt had worked there for forever, and my aunt's fantastic. So I started training people there and running classes, and I realized again that like that's what I wanted to do. Like I loved training people. I loved interacting with people in the group sense, like all the different the variety of the different classes that were offered at the YMCA at the time. And then I could have just gone and done my my certification just to be a personal trainer. Like I said, I had received my certification in being a kinesiologist and registered, so I was kind of covered that way, but it's a little bit different. So you can go, and just about anybody can go and receive a personal training certificate. You can do a number of different courses, but I wanted to be more. I wanted to see if I could be, like, if you have a personal trainer, I'm not saying, but like, how can you be the best personal trainer, right? So I decided to go back to school, and I found a really great program at Niagara College. It's called the Exercise Science for Health and Performance. It's a postgraduate program, so you do your degree first, and then you go into that program. And it was an 8 month, really rigorous, really awesome program there. It was my the best 8 months spent there. And after that, I received my, we had to go write it, but it was all geared towards getting this exercise physiologist certification.
So I guess you have to really know the muscles in the body and, you know, what strength or how much you can push them. And is that something that you focus on? And being a competitive athlete like you were, is obviously an athlete's body is much more toned in physique than your average Joe. Is there a different way you go about when you have an athlete that comes in for training as opposed to someone like me right off the street who hasn't?
I'm really happy actually that you looped to that, because I'd say the majority of the people that I see are just your average population, your 40 plus population, 65 plus, like that's kind of my main community. So I'd say that everyone I have in my gym is an athlete, no matter what. We try to treat them like I treat everybody the same. My oldest client is 86, and my youngest client is 12 or 13. Yeah. Wow. And I treat everybody the same. But yeah, the spectrum there is a little bit different, right? On kind of, let's say, like a needs analysis. So what does that individual person need from me to go out and live their best life? So like I'd like to say everybody is an athlete in their own way, but it's like, what are you an athlete for? Are you an athlete for your sport? Are you an athlete for life? Like, so my 86-year-old client, right? My job for her is to make sure that she's able to live out her life independently, that she can still get up and down the stairs, that she can get in and out of the chair, that she can get into her vehicle, you know, like, so the needs just vary, but I treat everybody the same.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What would you mentioned a little bit earlier that your aunt got you into the training and the physical and the classes at the Y. Would you say she was a main influence in your life to pursue this career path you're on, or were there others as well?
Yeah, she would have started there for sure, just because she was always the active person in the family, I guess, that was doing that as a job. I've always been an athlete and very active, but I would say that I was, if she hears this, she'll have a giggle, kind of a lazy athlete. So my aunt was always trying to get us to walk to locations, and, you know, we can walk up 10th Street Hill with all the cousins to go do it, you know, and I'm like, oh, why can't we drive? And whatever. So anyway, so she's always been pushing us to all be more active people. And I think that totally came around full circle, that like movement is medicine, and you should never really stop moving. So I would say, yeah, it started with Aunt Kathleen back then, and there's been a number of different people that have influenced kind of where I am. Yeah.
That's awesome. I like that. Movement is medicine. That's a t-shirt thing.
Yeah, right.
What would you say? So you had mentioned you wanted to go into physical therapy. So did you want to like work with sports teams and rehabilitation of athletes?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. But I sort of had the misconception that was how you worked with athletes, was the rehab sense. But I don't know why I thought that, like, and there are, but physiotherapists do the training programs and the physiology aspect and the baseline testing, and they can, but they don't. Like, so if you're a physiotherapist associated with a team, your job is to take care of like the injuries, I guess, more in the aspect is that, like, again, very physiotherapist can do all of it, but there was different roles, and I was more interested in okay, everybody, you're coming to me. What does the team need? Okay, here's the demands in your season. This is your cycle of training. We're going to follow different phases in the cycle of training. So taking, like, how can I make you more fit for your sport, or how can I get you ready for your sport?
Okay. So what made you change that? Yeah. What made you change that path then, or do you still use that when you're running the gym?
Sorry, like changing more from an injury aspect to so I'd say, like, we definitely get both. And then being a kinesiologist, I do have I've taken a lot of injury rehab courses. So it's just kind of knowing, like, I deal with a lot of physiotherapists in towns. We have mutual clients in the respect there. So it's kind of like this constant referral cycle on, okay, we have an injured body, we'll refer to physio, then physio comes back to us, and how can we still kind of get this person exactly where they need to be? But I do have the knowledge with the schooling that I've taken and then the experience that I have to take that injured body as well and kind of get us back to a baseline, but like a fully functioning body. So the kinesiologist sort of background helps me with that, and then the exercise physiologist one helps me with, again, what's your goal, what's your training cycle? Are you 86 and we just need to be fit for life? Are you Bailey Hooper and you need to perform at the CrossFit Games? Like, what's the demand and what happens within that cycle?
Well, since you mentioned Bailey, I wanted to talk about that, because that is a huge accomplishment for yourself and for Bailey. So Bailey just won the 2023 Noble CrossFit Games, and you helped her on that path. Am I correct to say you through all of that?
Yeah, that was a whirlwind. Bailey's a special person and an incredible athlete and human being. When she came into my gym, she's best friends with one of my trainers. She just went back to school, so she's no longer with me. But she was training, she was a coach for me. And Trey had brought Bailey into, I think it was a Saturday boot camp class, whatever, and she came in and she just kind of never really left after that. And then we started doing CrossFit, and, like, man, this girl's athlete's incredible. Like, she was just progressing at a crazy rate, just like able to pick things up really quickly. And then from there, she had kind of said there's a worldwide online competition called the CrossFit Open. So, like, worldwide, everyone can compete in it. And for Bailey, that was like, you can qualify through there to go to the CrossFit Games. So she needed to place, I think, top 3 or top 5 in that competition, and then she got a ticket or an invite to the CrossFit Games. But I told her, like, this was just last year, and I said, Bailey, like, it's no stress at all, girlfriend. Like, this is just our learning year. If this is what you would like to do, like, we've clearly got a great passion for this. You're very skilled in it. You're picking things up very quickly. You're an amazing athlete. But I said, like, let's not stress on it. This will just be a learning year for us, and then we can go from there. Like, let's just go in and have some fun. Yeah. So it was a Friday night, I think, because it's like 3 or 4 weeks of competition. And we ran at the gym. It was awesome. And she came in, I think it was one of the final weeks, and she was still, like, a bit stressed out. And I said, Bill, like, what's the problem? Like, yeah, like, you're doing really, really great, girl, but we still have, like, we make through this, and then we need to do this, and then we do this, and then we can go to the games. right? Which I don't think will happen this year. It's your first year. Like, it doesn't happen to anybody. And like, just being a bit of a realist, although yeah, I was like, we'll get there, but maybe just not this year. And she said, no, if I place top 5 and I'm in first place right now, I go to the games. And I said, oh, okay, all right. Okay, we can freak out. and yeah, she did. And then it kind of snowballed from there. We had a lot of work ahead of us. Like I said, it was kind of just an accelerated process that I didn't think would happen this year, just being her first year. But she did. She put in the work, and it was incredible to be a part of it with her. Yeah.
So for those that don't know, can you explain a little bit what CrossFit is? When I think of CrossFit, I think of the big men pushing the big tractor tires and flipping them down the long line.
Yeah.
So little Bailey, I'm just astounded by the fact that she can do something like that.
So if you can think about CrossFit, like people, like there's a certain stigma with it a little bit. Like if we just think about, like you said, like big men doing manly things and whatever, then we have, again, kind of this misconception of it because of, I don't know, I don't even know where like a stigma comes from with that. But CrossFit is not, like, think like CrossFit is a sport on its own, or a way of moving, or a way of moving on its own, but it encompasses everything. So like when I say like CrossFit is for everyone, or like my gym is for everyone, like take my 86-year-old client Ruth, who is phenomenal. Like, we are doing CrossFit together. Everyone in that place is doing CrossFit, even if they don't know they're doing CrossFit, because CrossFit is so encompassing in everything that it includes. So with that, it's like, how far can you take it, right? So if you could say like, yeah, I'm a runner, or I'm a casual runner, like what does that mean? Like, I can run, but there's also marathon runners, and there's 100-meter dashers, and there's whatever, right? But there's like all spectrums of running. So you can be an Olympic runner, or you can go out with your girlfriends on the weekend and do a run walk. Like, we're all runners, right? So there's like ways to vary everything, just like kind of in every aspect of life. So CrossFit kind of it includes everything. And that's why I chose to sort of continue that at the gym, because you're not limiting anything then. Like the possibilities with movement are endless in CrossFit.
Oh, I didn't know that. I just thought it was just strength. So that's cool to know.
No, yeah, not at all. So you can take a Bailey Hooper, who's at the top of the sport, and then you can take Ruth, again, she's my favorite example, who's 86, or my almost, so Gail, if you watch it, almost 70-year-old client, Gail, and like my master's ladies, my master's men, my noon classes, my moms, my whatever, like every person in there, if you're moving, you're doing CrossFit.
That's awesome. What advice would you give anyone that wants to start the journey but is scared? And they, sometimes gyms can be intimidating. You walk into the gym and you
100%.
see the whole spectrum of people, but it can be intimidating. So what advice would you give to someone that wants to start that physical journey but is afraid to?
I would say just to walk in and just kind of take in, like, just come in and see, the barrier is there. You're nervous about it. Just to walk in, have a conversation with any coach at any gym, and just see what the vibe is. Like, some gyms are not for everybody. My goal was always to be a gym for everyone, right? And to hopefully give that vibe, or that sense of kind of belonging as soon as you walk into the gym. That being said, it's just like going in with this open mind that everyone is at a different level. So even if you go in, like, some people will walk in and they immediately see, or they pick up on somebody doing something sorry, just hang on a second. Dad, stop, please.
We can't hear him.
Sorry. I'm picking up, and I can't hear my own talk. I'm really sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry about that. But anyway, so if you go in and you hone in on kind of that one person, like the big manly man or whatever, who's over on the bench pressing, or the Bailey Hooper who's flipping around on the rings and doing this, right? Like, my advice would be to walk in, like look around, but then just like establish that everyone started somewhere, and it doesn't like you always have all different levels at any time. And like I said, like with CrossFit, where like any style of training, you can scale or vary all of it so that it is appropriate for every single person, right? Which is going in and knowing that, okay, maybe I'm not at that level, and maybe I will never be at that level, but that doesn't mean that I can't come in and find a purpose in here, and that I can do what I need to do, because we all have our own individual goals and things that we need to do for life and longevity.
What do you love about coaching? What do you love about training? Why is it your passion? What is it that drove you to this, that you are just like, I can't get enough and I love it? Because when I walked into your gym, it has a great atmosphere. It makes me want to work out, which is, let me tell you, that's telling you something, because I don't ever want to do that. That's just getting that motivation. So how do you bring that passion to that environment? Because it is vibrant when you walk into your gym.
Well, that's great. And that makes me really happy to hear as well. You said you've been a couple times, and to have that's been my goal, right? But I would say like there's no better feeling than like, so we run a lot of one-on-one training, so a lot of like just personal training, right? So you can do one-on-one, you can do small group, or one of my big goals when I took over the gym was to have these classes so that you get more of a sense of like community. So you come in, you've got your friends, or maybe you don't, but maybe you find friends there, right? Like everyone is kind of in there doing the same thing, and you know that everyone's sort of like achieving the same goal within this workout. So like having 10 people at 10 different levels of fitness and all being able to do this same workout, right? But I'd say in my one-on-ones, or in I guess the same everywhere, like having the ability to show people and teach people that they can do the things. So like things that they didn't think that they could do. And that could be as simple as, oh, I'll never be able to sit down on the floor with my grandkids and get back up. Like, let me show you that we can do that, right? To Bailey, who was like, I don't have ring muscle up. So she's on the ring, she's got to get herself on top. Like, how are we going to get that in this open? Like, and kind of recognizing people's abilities, but so is it a long game? Is it a short game? And how am I going to get you there? But like seeing people go outside of their comfort zones, but like feeling safe enough with me, like you can feel that kind of sense of trust, like with everybody that I have, that I know that I can make those people feel comfortable, and that we can tackle these goals. Like I think that I can see people's potential even when they can't see it.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's like, yeah, small wins and big wins, but I'd say that's kind of my highlight or my passion in the coaching is showing everybody sort of what they can do.
You can feel that when you walk in there. You can tell that everyone does feel comfortable, and that you set them at ease. So that was nice. I remember when I approached you to do this interview, and I walked in there, and you could see everyone felt at home there, and there was all different levels of physical fitness within there at that time, which I love to see that. That's awesome. Yeah. Name something for me. We talked a lot about your journey to get where you are now, to owning built strength and conditioning. What is something you learned about yourself while you were on that journey, from realizing that maybe not physical, even though you had a passion for training an athlete, maybe that wasn't the route you wanted to go? So name something, like, what did you learn about yourself on this journey?
Wow. I don't know. I've learned a lot.
Well, what's one thing that sticks out that you're just like, wow, I didn't think I could do that, and look at me now? Like, coaching, that's a huge accomplishment to have Bailey walk in and within a year win the 2023 Noble CrossFit Games. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That must have been something
Yeah,
you
I mean,
to do.
With her, yeah, with Bailey, I guess maybe with Bailey especially, like, I think I've learned a lot about, it's not just a physical game. Things in the gym are like massively mental. So again, it's like all kind of on this spectrum of like, what does that mean, or what does that include for different people? So it's not just coaching in a physical aspect of okay, yeah, we're squatting today and we're going to do this, and we're going to do this. Oh, and yes, your heart rate's going to elevate, and these different aspects of fitness. But a lot, like every person in that gym goes through something mentally. So whether that's people are exhausted because they've got kids at home or they're not sleeping, or they're working like crazy and this is their relief, but maybe the exercise plan has to change that day. So it's because of what that person is feeling. So for Bailey, it was like this massive feat in the demands of her workouts and the CrossFit Games and everything around that, right? So like kind of the mental sport in training, right? There's a huge piece there, like in like being able to push yourself through certain things to do that type of sport, right? But for your moms and your dads and your older age population, what's their mental game? And like I said, it's more like life struggles, or like what they're dealing with in their regular life. So for me, what I learned was it's not always about like getting that killer workout in, right? Today, like, oh, they're paying me today, like I got to kick their butts today. It's honestly a lot of listening to people, listening to sort of what they need in that session and what they need for you. And sometimes the session is just a big chat with a small amount of exercise, right? So I learned that as long as people feel better, than when they came in, whether that's just mentally and physically, then you did your job.
I love that. People don't think about that sometimes. There's a big mental load when it comes to working out. Even just to work yourself up to get into the gym sometimes can be really difficult. So that's great that you see that they're both important. That's awesome. What is something that piqued your interest that's unexplored territory for you? You've created this awesome gym environment. You've got a CrossFit champion. What's next?
What's next is always just this continued growth. So again, like I just launched a new fall schedule. So I put a lot of classes in our schedule. I hired some new coaches who are all fantastic, phenomenal people. For myself, I would like to see every one of those classes full, just the continued community growth. So like I said, with the class schedule push, I was trying to get more people together all the time instead of trying to isolate kind of this one-on-one or one-on-two, one-on-three people, right? Like really small groups sort of on the hour. I was like, well, why can't we have the same feel that I get in the personal training session in a group class, right? So in these like groups of 10 to 15 or 20 or 5 or whatever. So it's just continuing to kind of reach like the great group that I have already, growing it so that everybody is sort of on this like, no, Built Training and Conditioning is my home, it's my family. Like I just want more. I want a bigger family.
I love that.
So I think like with that, my goal would always be to expand. So if I had like, what's my 10-year plan or my 5-year plan or my 6-year plan, I would want to see like my gym so busy that I have to look at going bigger.
That's awesome. What advice would you give someone that's trying to find their voice within this community, trying to open that door and walk in the gym? What would you tell them to do? Just open the door.
Just open it and come in. If there was any reservations or any like things they're worried about, like you don't have to come and just like jump right into a class. Although I would say that's probably the easiest because no one leaves feeling like, oh God, I did something wrong. But if anyone was like really nervous, just to call and to have a conversation or to email me and set aside some time to have a chat about anything that they're feeling, or if they are feeling very nervous, or if they're having the kind of second thoughts, or, you know, like, and how together can we get you in the door?
That's awesome. Well, Emily, we're going to put up where people can reach you here so that they can reach out to Built Strength and Conditioning. I'd like to thank you for joining me today. This was awesome, and I love to hear your story. I want to end the program by encouraging you and more people to get involved in the community. Find the spark that ignites you on your path to create your own story. Doing a little bit of good where you are, it is those little bits of good put together that overwhelm the world. So thank you, Emily. I appreciate hearing your story.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks very much for having me. And can I just say one more thing?
Sure.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
You're watching an interesting local show on Rogers TV and you want to know more. That's when you head to rogerstv.com. Our website provides more information about our programs, our hosts, our schedule, and about how you too can get involved with Rogers TV. Visit us online at rogerstv.com.
As a single parent, the weight of responsibility is overwhelming. I'm grateful for the prayers that give me the strength to keep going for my kids' sake and mine. You were there for me, offering support and encouragement and reminding me of God's promises when I needed it most.
You're watching Rogers TV.
Hi there. I'm Eric Marchant, host of Cinema Scene, your source for the latest reviews and interviews. We're already halfway through 2024, which brings its fair share of great releases still playing theatrically or on streaming services. I Saw the TV Glow amid analog adolescence in sinister suburbia, channeling 90s nostalgia like no other. Let's tune in to the film's frequency. A lonesome adolescent, Owen, portrayed by Justice Smith, becomes obsessed with a supernatural series called The Pink Opaque in mid-90s suburbia, progressively blurring the lines between reality and fiction, serving as a potent trans allegory. Bridget Lundy Payne's high school outcast Maddie literally acts as a TV guide to young Owen, played by Ian Foreman in earlier scenes, as the pair bond over the cult show's mythological status. Reminiscent of Buffy the Vampire Slayer right down to the opening credits, the intentionally convoluted program has two teenage girls battling the monster of the week before building up to a moon-shaped villain, Mr. Melancholy. The Big Bad's design references George Milius's silent short film, A Trip to the Moon. Living in a neon-lit world of make-believe and never having to face oneself is enticing. Owen suffocates in a strict household, afraid to communicate directly with Fred Durst's peripheral patriarch. Instead, he goes through Danielle Deadwyler's ailing mother for permission to stay up past his bedtime or pretend to sleep over at an estranged friend's place. Smith's awkward and repressed performance, apologizing for existence rather than reaching inward for self-acceptance to be reborn, takes time to adjust. The nervy finale makes you realize how vital Smith's tragic portrayal has genuinely been throughout. Maddie's mysterious disappearance provides the elliptical narrative moving faster through the years, reflecting adult life passing by, functioning as the catalyst for Smith's Owen to break the fourth wall, like a member of the Midnight Society would do, introducing an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark? Lundy Payne's dissident monologue exemplifies an enlightened soul having escaped small-town prejudices without leaving behind 90s nostalgia. The atypical co-star sets fire to the revolutionary speech. An unsettling and atmospheric tale of tubular terror radiates writer-director Jane Schoenbrun's singular voice. Admittedly, there's some borrowing from Twin Peaks: The Return, especially the spellbinding music interludes, but the film resonates emotionally, expanding into a specific vision of gender dysphoria. I must say I have never witnessed anything quite like this. The closest would be Spike Jonze's Being John Malkovich. Scary is subjective. I found Schoenbrun's primetime follow-up to We're All Going to the World's Fair exquisitely existential. If anything, the most frightening realization is what you loved watching growing up doesn't have the same power it once did at an impressionable age. It'll make you question, what else doesn't hold up? I Saw the TV Glow is a must-watch movie, so don't change that channel. My final rating, A. Film critic Prabjot Bains is joining me now to discuss the year's best movies thus far. Prabjot, thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show again. It feels like only yesterday we were discussing the best films of 2023. And now we're already halfway through 2024, which, where does the time go? In that period, has there been a film for you, and I kind of know where you're going to go, like a favorite movie that's really kind of defined the first 6 months of the year?
So we're just starting with like my favorite.
Just a favorite film, just something that really inspired you. It's like, you know, because I already know what the answer is, but I want you to say it, that really energized you.
Yeah, so a movie that really energized me, and that's a light way of putting it, and a movie that really, had me chafing at the loins here, was Luca Guadagnino's Challengers.
Yes.
Absolutely an obsessive piece of filmmaking for me. On top of it's just wonderful love triangle and mixture of erotic and a sports thriller. I just fell in love with how it shot, how it made tennis just a sport so entertaining to watch, a sport that I really do not care about.
Or, I don't know how much you know, but I knew very little about tennis, and so when you're watching it, you're still so captivated by what's going on, the back and forth. And the thing that is miraculous about this movie, and I've talked about this before with something like How to Blow Up a Pipeline, is that the editing of the story and how it flashes back never disrupts what's going on in the present moment. You're always completely integrated into the scene and so focused on what's going on, whether it be 10 years before or in the moment of when the thing is actually happening in New Rochelle. And so when you're watching this back and forth, it's just fascinating, and each character has their own unique definition to them, and they're not one-dimensional whatsoever. Do you have a favorite character?
Yes, my favorite character, I think, is also the scummiest character in the movie, and that says maybe something about me, but it's Josh O'Connor's character in the film. I just think it's a character who really, kind of serves as a battery for the other characters. He charges them up while he's also doing his own thing, and I just think he adds so much to the dynamic here. And I really didn't know a lot about Josh O'Connor in terms of his work. I knew of some of his films that he did in Britain, but outside of The Crown, I didn't really know the range that you could get with him, but I was just entranced by him and just the dynamic that he had with Zendaya, but also that amazing bromance that was going on in that movie, the dynamic between him and Mike Feist.
Yeah.
It just really worked for me. And again, like you were saying regarding the characters, I think all of them add a bunch to the film. They add their own flavor and spice to it. But in a lesser director's hands, I mean, any momentum would have been killed when moving back and forth through time, especially when it's focused on a highly frenetic match. Cutting back to 10 years or even 14 years back would have killed any momentum. And just the way that it's brought back is impeccable, and how each actor kind of buys into it is amazing. So.
Absolutely. And going back to Josh O'Connor, I agree with you. I think he is the most sort of captivating just in terms of, having a lot going on, and also he's very seductive in certain aspects of his personality, but I think he's the most honest of the three characters in knowing who he is. He is a scumbag. He is somebody that, is salacious in nature and has, his own agenda, but at least he knows what he is and he admits to it. But there's also an underlining feeling of he's a poser as well, because, he could easily go back to his family and find the corporate job, as we learn about in the film. And watching this, I have to admit, I've never had anything against Zendaya, but I never found that movie star quality up until this film. And watching her, I got it. I finally understood why she is probably going to be one of the biggest names in the next 20 to 30 years. And her performance is incredible. Just the way she looks at certain things, the expressive nature in sort of attitudes that she has, and she really knows the game and the obsession with the game. It's so well done. And it's just, it's a technical performance too that I found absolutely captivating. And Luca Guadagnino is one of those guys that just seems to keep going and going and going. And I cannot wait to see his next movie, Queer, with Daniel Craig, because it's coming out later this year, hopefully with the fall festival circuit. And it just feels like we're getting one, hit after another from him.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, there's a big line in the movie, right? It's about winning the points that matter, and Guadagnino is winning all the points that matter for me. And yeah, going back to just what you said about Josh O'Connor, that dangerous quality really is because he has that scruffy look to him throughout a lot of the movie, but he's still so attractive and handsome, right? It gives him such a dangerous quality. And the way he plays off Zendaya really kind of brings me back to an era of like the erotic thriller of the 90s, where adult movies for adults, going to theaters, you see less of it moving forward. I'm really happy that even amidst a tumultuous kind of movie market, you can find these type of gems here. And yeah, that's one. I think I've seen it 4 times already now. So
well, on that note, we have to go to a commercial break. But when we come back, we'll serve up more Cinema Scene.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Public transit, garbage pickup, parks and recreation programs, snow removal on your street. How can you stay informed about these and other important local services? Tune to City Council coverage on Rogers TV. See your community leaders at work on Rogers TV City Council coverage.
Prabjot Bains, you're here on the show to talk about the best films of the year thus far. A movie that we had a review for at the beginning of the show is I Saw the TV Glow, a film that is both existential in looking at nostalgia, but also something that is very specific to the trans story. You have a writer-director in Jane Schoenbrunn who is sharing their experience with the audience, but at the same time is showing a very specific moment in 90s suburbia, and we see how threatening but also sad a situation like that can be. How did you react to the film?
Yeah, and that's also really, really high on my list. I Saw the TV Glow. The way I reacted to the movie, it really left me with a profound sense of longing and melancholy, and just looking back
Mr. Melancholy?
Yes, exactly. And just discovering how much of my life, especially as moviegoers as we are, that we tie parts of ourselves, and parts of ourselves just become intrinsically tied to certain pieces of media that have stayed with us as we were children, right? And in this movie, yes, the trans experience is coded into it, but there's so much to also see just anybody, right? Like
it's specific but universal at the same time.
So how much of my own identity is tied to these pieces of media, and how my relationship with it changes over time. It's just a really great existential type of look at how we consume media and how our lives as we move on change with media, and how much they really make an impression on who we ultimately become. And it really just the sense of melancholy and just kind of looking back and nostalgia, and just the stream of liminality that runs through the film. I mean, some of the best liminal spaces I think I've seen, like on celluloid ever. I just want to exist in those spaces.
Well,
just curl
Justice
up.
Smith's room is specifically, like, you can obviously tell the way that the angular aspect of it is an ode to the Night of the Hunter, and things like that. So, it's interesting. Obviously, Buffy the Vampire Slayer plays a role in terms of the inspiration for the TV show The Pink Opaque, but as you were saying, it reminds you of your own childhood and the shows that you grew up with, specifically the ones that you felt like, oh, maybe I'm a little too young to be watching this, but I'm getting away with something. And then the older you get, and as time feels like it's going faster and faster and faster, you begin to wonder if you're living the life that you really feel fulfills you. And that's something that I think the movie really speaks to. I know that Jane Schoenbrunn has mentioned that another key aspect of the storytelling is that you're either an active participant in your life or you're simply watching it. And when you're watching this character, it feels like they're not actually in control of their own life, that they're just seeing it from the point of view of being a child, and even the way that his parents continue into his late teens to treat him like a child. You feel that sense of loneliness and tragedy, and that he'll never actually grow up and become the person that he wants to be. And that's truly the sad part of the film.
Yeah, and that's one of the aspects that really hit home for me, right? Living a life on somebody else's terms. You know, you feel like you're looking back at your life through, you know, a spectator's lens, and you just let life drift apart. And that's that drifting aspect of it really is coded into just the visual design of the film as well. I would not even call it that much of a movie as it is a stream of consciousness.
It's a mood piece in a lot of ways, and obviously it's also taking a lot of inspiration from David Lynch, and you know, another movie that does take a lot of inspiration from David Lynch is The Beast as well, which I think is another movie that, you know, played the festival circuit last year and got a theatrical release earlier. That it didn't get much of one in Ontario. It only played at the Carlton cinemas in Toronto, so hopefully people will catch up with that. But you had a chance to see it at TIFF. What did you think?
At TIFF, that's one we have to disagree on for me.
Oh, really?
I love Bonello. I love House of Pleasures. I loved Nocturama, but this one didn't do it for me. I really felt like it was a film kind of divided between what it wanted, two parts of a film or two different types of things that it wanted to be, and it didn't really mesh for me. I really wanted to love this movie, especially because of Léa Seydoux, and just the, you know, the time-spanning narrative of it, how it, you know, shifts between periods and kind of touches on these different aspects of, you know, how relationships build and you know how, you know, our knowledge or experience with time kind of changes, but
also how history, even when it's reincarnated, repeats itself.
Exactly,
in
the
some way.
cyclical nature, you know, that we kind of find ourselves in. But it just, as a film-going experience, it kind of didn't work for me. And what I really would have loved in the movie is I really would have loved some more music. Which I Saw the TV Glow did have one of the killer soundtracks of the year.
And score.
Yeah, an amazing score by Alex G. And just, you know, Caroline Polachek. And like you were saying, both of the movies, The Beast and I Saw the TV Glow, are very Lynchian in design. And for I Saw the TV Glow, it really made me think about in terms of, you know, Twin Peaks: The Return, how every episode would end kind of with a musical performance.
At the bar, yeah.
Yeah, and the musical musicality of I Saw That TV Glow, the live performances, really are just some of the most riveting stuff I've seen, especially how they tie into the film. And just, I wish that Bonello's film kind of carried that type of aspect with it. Obviously, you don't want two movies to be the same, but just the fulfilling aspect that I got from kind of I Saw That TV Glow's originality, a same way I just didn't get from The Beast. But no.
Well, the Beast does have more of a controlled element to it as well, right? Where I feel I Saw the TV Glow pulsates in a way where it feels alive, and it's you know, it's emanating something. And I really like The Beast quite a bit, but I understand where you're coming from, where it's almost cool. And you know, a big problem I have with anthology films is that you're always comparing one story to the other, and there's never that consistency. So I can understand even that aspect of, you know, the 3 time periods and being like, okay, well, this section works a little bit better than the last. But I do think it's a better movie than, say, Cloud Atlas, which a lot of people did initially compare it to. Were there any films that you really liked that maybe audiences weren't the biggest fan of?
A movie that I really liked this year, and I'm not sure if audiences, but I know the box office definitely hated it. I really like Book of Clarence a lot this year. Not the most perfect movie. I don't think it goes all in on its religious messaging. Kind of gets conflicted near the end. But I really thought, as a kind of you know, evocation of 50s, you know, Ben-Hur type of epics, those biblical epics that I really love, I think it really did a good job of kind of transposing it onto kind of the modern filmic tradition, and just kind of the star power that we saw in it, the really musicality of it. Again, another amazing soundtrack that we have here. That's a movie that I really liked, and I think really proves Lakeith Stanfield's staying power as a Hollywood star. But I think Sony really messed up in putting that movie in January. I feel like if they had kind of, you know,
well, it'd be an April release, if anything.
Put it in
right?
Easter. Put it in Easter. You know, I
April.
understand you're gonna ruffle a few feathers there, but that would have been a great Easter watch, I feel.
I mean, there's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of Christian-based films, which is fine, but, you know, like, they sometimes ruffle feathers as well. I mean, look at Sound of Freedom last year,
Yeah.
you know, and kind of using that as a shield in terms of protecting itself from criticism. Yeah, I agree with you. It's not a perfect movie by any means, but it does feel like it's a film that is more thoughtful and considerate and also very funny at times too. Not that it goes as far as maybe say Jesus Christ Superstar in some of its humor, but it definitely feels like it's something that maybe audiences should give a second look to. And talking about it now, like this is the perfect kind of show to talk about the films that maybe people have missed. And so I think that's something else we should maybe explore after the break, because there are a bunch of movies that, you know, you can recommend that maybe have fallen through the cracks this year, because we're only in the first 6 months, but
hard to believe.
There's so much to talk about. So we'll be back with more Cinema Scene right after this.
I was severely abused as a child. I'm 77 now, but still have nightmares. I'm too weak. Can you please pray for me?
We're back. I'm joined by Pravjot Bains. We're talking about the best films of the year so far. A movie that I quickly want to mention that I think did slip through the cracks a little bit is a movie called Seagrass by Meredith Hama Brown. It's a movie that is so achingly beautiful and specific to how a family is affected by divorce or the separation process, and you know, holding on to whatever is left of a nuclear family, but also the incredible performance by Ali Maki in the movie is so visceral and empathetic that you just completely are immersed in what Meredith Hama Brown is doing. And I think she is one of the great filmmakers to be excited about, not only in Canadian cinema, but the future is going to be so bright with someone like her at the helm of hopefully many, many more films. So I would highly recommend checking out Seagrass if you haven't seen it. Now, we were talking about The Beast earlier. I enjoyed it a little bit more than you. Let's reverse these roles, because, you know, Richard Linklater is a filmmaker I very much admire, and I think what he does is taken for granted. Hitman, which was co-written and stars Glenn Powell, is a movie I want to like. It's fine. It's me doing the Conan O'Brien on Hot Ones thing. It's fine. Why did you love the film so much?
Yes. I mean, that going back to just fall of last year, I mean, that movie stayed with me since I saw it at TIFF. I think I went to the opening press screening at the Lightbox, and it was just a great experience, you know, seeing Linklater's name show up and just seeing, you know, a derpy Glenn Powell, you know, pulling into frame. But the reason...
But in flame, too. I mean, like,
exactly.
The gentleman is a handsome-looking guy.
Very, very handsome, I gotta say. I'm gonna emphasize that. But yeah, what I really, really loved about it is it kind of, again, harkens back to me, just kind of the age of kind of elevated studio comedies, where they take the perspective of a studio comedy, but mix in so many different types of genres, and they all juggle very, very well. That's one aspect that I really loved about it. And just Glenn Powell's kind of chameleonic performance. I mean, just it's both poking fun at itself, but then it also kind of really invests you in the plot as well. It takes itself seriously, but then doesn't at the same time. It's just the tone juggling that it does, I think it's so masterful. And I just think it's the perfect, I mean, if I was to say the most quintessential date movie, I would definitely recommend Hitman, because it's just a great experience at the theater, just seeing the hijinks unfold and just seeing this convoluted plot, but then kind of same time comments on the nature of the social masks that we wear and who we are. And
we all wear masks, metaphorically speaking.
Yeah, exactly. It's both profound and silly, and just it takes a full circle effect itself, and I really, really enjoy that aspect about it. And on top of that, one of the sexiest movies I've seen in years. My God, that couple. That's a power couple if I've ever seen one.
Now, here's where we disagree. I feel that the tone can be hit or miss, especially with what feels like a showcase reel for Glenn Powell in the multiple hitman roles, where I think it goes into a territory of being a little too goofy at times and almost feels like you're watching a late 80s, early 90s comedy, something like Stakeout or Another Stakeout with Richard Dreyfuss and Emilio Estevez. And that's where it threw me off a little bit. And I think the meta aspect of it at times is a little maybe too tongue-in-cheek and playful, where I kept thinking as well, last year Netflix also released The Killer, and I felt that did a better job of deconstructing the hitman mythology, but also poking fun at David Fincher's own career, where this movie deconstructs the mythology of the hitman and shows you that it's all fake, but it feels like it's a little maybe too glib or clever for its own good at times, and that's where I had a lot of the problems with the movie, and it just felt very ephemeral in watching it, where after seeing it at the festival, I didn't feel it was like the great American movie of last year or this year. I thought it was a very good, plain film in a way. And I love Linklater, and I think like Everybody Wants Some with Glenn Powell is incredible. The Before movies are excellent. Like, he is such a wonderful filmmaker, but this kind of feels mid-tier in terms of his career.
I know, but even mid-tier Linklater is better than some directors' high-tier.
But I think that argument could be made with any great director, that a mid-tier movie from them is still worth studying and analyzing and even going back to, even if you're not a fan of them. I think that argument is always used, with any great filmmaker, because you could look at someone like Alfred Hitchcock as well and say, like, I could watch Topaz, which isn't a great movie, but it's something because it is a Hitchcock film.
Yeah, but the plainness of the film, I mean, Linklater is a filmmaker that works with a very hidden style. It's there, but it's not pronounced, right? Yeah. And I think that hidden style...
He makes it look easy.
The hidden style that's there, and I kind of put it akin to kind of like Sidney Lumet, right? He had that very hidden style of his films that he put into, not showy-offy, but very economic film,
Well, he was a journeyman filmmaker, and I think he was the best of the bunch. I mean, when Lumet got to the 80s, it was a little bit rougher.
Yep.
But, yeah, it's not an unfair comparison. I know Linklater himself has talked about wanting to be a filmmaker in the 30s and 40s and going from one studio set to another and making one different genre movie to another and not being sort of pigeonholed into one specific sort of format. But he is known as the walking, talking filmmaker and sort of, really working with his actors to flesh out a conversation.
Yeah, and the conversations that are had in Hitman, I think, are so riveting. I'm just entranced by it. I know you don't feel the same way.
There are times, I think Glenn Powell's a superstar in the making. I understand, and I don't dislike the movie. I just don't think it's on par as being the great American film of 2024 or one of the best movies of the year, or even one of the best films of Richard Linklater's career, and it's just a really solid little film that you'll throw on a Sunday afternoon and be like, oh, that was charming. It's got those elements where you enjoy it for what it is, but I don't think it has the lasting power of something like the Before movies, did.
For sure.
Yeah, and that happens though. I think, when you are talking about certain movies that you love, like I really enjoyed Furiosa quite a bit, but I also understand if somebody doesn't have sort of the interest or background in the Mad Max saga, it can alienate them, and it's not going to be for everybody. So when people are talking about things as poisonous as box office, for example, and saying, oh, well, this film failed, well, you know what, you have to look at it from the perspective of, well, this is the most successful Mad Max movie, the first to be #1 in the box office. But at the same time, I'm glad that George Miller isn't making a movie that isn't for everybody, you know? In the same way that Ryosuke Hamaguchi is making a film that isn't Drive My Car over again with, you know, Evil Doesn't Exist. So, and those are the filmmakers that I love that are trying to find new avenues that are unexpected in ways that you can really appreciate.
Yeah, and just full circle, even back to, you know, Guadagnino, he has that much type of fun with different genres and pulling it back, and that's what I really admire. And I think, yeah, I mean, at the start of this, you know, at the halfway point of this year, there's a lot of different types of experiences to be had. There's a lot of gems to be found this year.
And Madam Web.
I don't want to go there yet, but I mean, it's a
movie.
That's a gem, but a really, really rough one. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's easily, I would say, the worst movie of the year, if you can call it that.
Well, Pool Man is right there too.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. You have Hitman, then you have Pool Man.
Yeah.
But Madam Web, I mean, really is a superhero movie that takes place in the early 2000s and feels like it came out in the early 2000s.
Yeah, I cannot believe we're wrapping here, but it is kind of comical in a way. But I think there's a lot of great movies to catch up on, whether they're theatrical or at home. And, you know, this is our opinion, so obviously, you know, what our favorite movies are different to somebody else. So it's just always fun to talk about this stuff. But I want to thank you, Prabhat, so much for taking the time to do this. And thank you for watching at home. I really appreciate you guys, you know, taking the time to watch this TV glow. See you next time on Cinema Scene.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com. This is Rogers TV.
Here to the Harry Lumley Bayshore Community Center on top of what would be the J.D. MacArthur Arena for tonight's MSL between the Owen Sound North Stars and the Coburg Kodiak. Spencer Bars alongside me, Steve McCarthy. And Steve, just before the national anthem hits, I hope, what is the expectation for this Owen Sound team that's won now 2 straight coming into tonight?
Well, again, you just certainly want to see them continue to improve, eliminate a lot of the little mistakes that tend to end up in your own net. And, you know, we've seen some progression throughout the season. We've been in a lot of games, and recently we've been able to compete in 3 periods in a row, and thus we've won a couple in a row.
And with that, we'll quickly go to Fred Wallace for the national anthem.